Welcome back to the program. Joining me live in the studio is Coalition frontbencher Kieran Gilbert. Senator, thanks for your time. Let's start with a very upfront revelation by the former Prime Minister Scott Morrison about his mental health challenges when he was in the top job. Were you surprised about how frank he was?
Look, I was surprised because, he always looked so, from the outside, he always looked calm and assured. And to know that internally he was going through this turmoil is quite surprising, but I congratulate the former PM. I congratulate SKY for being upfront. We do need to talk about it. We need, it's when high-profile people actually come out and admit that they've had struggles too, that it allows other people to be more open about it.
It's a good point, and Bill Shorten said pretty much the same. He said he wasn't a big fan of him as Prime Minister, but good on him for being upfront with this now, suggesting that even at times he found it hard to get out of bed, given the anxiety that he felt. Which
was incredibly surprising because, when SKY was at work, he was at work all the time, and during COVID, early mornings, late nights, always sort of on call, and as politicians, sometimes we do feel like we're on call 24/7.
And it's brutal as well, isn't it?
It's very brutal.
Politician and media, but also politicians versus politicians, media scrutiny. There's not a lot of respite, certainly if you're Prime Minister.
If you're Prime Minister, I know I can't go shopping without having, my 10-minute going to buy milk turn into 45 minutes, but that's okay because that's what I put my hand up for. But it is exhausting, and I think that we do need to talk about the issues, and mental health is such an important area that I don't think we are talking about honestly and open enough.
Yeah, indeed. And the other issue that is really front and centre at the moment with the shocking numbers of domestic violence, the amount of women losing their lives on a weekly basis is
25 to date this year alone.
Horrendous.
It is.
It's obviously going to take a long time, but how do we turn this around?
Well, one of the first things is we really need to look at our enforcement. We need to try and prevent it from the get-go. And one of the issues that we have and that we're looking at very hard from a coalition is prevention. We are putting a lot of money as a government into after the fact and into refuges, which is very important, and I support that. But we also need to educate, because I'm a mother of 2 daughters and I'm trying to educate my children what a healthy relationship looks like. But we need our sons to be educated in the same manner. You do not, when I was growing up, my 2 brothers were always taught, you do not hit a woman. It doesn't matter what she does. It doesn't matter how many of your buttons she pushes. Don't hit a woman. And we need more of that happening so we can prevent it. But then we also need to look at enforcement, because time and time again, we are hearing that the perpetrators have got AVOs against them.
They've out on bail.
They're out on bail. The most recent one with poor Molly Ticehurst in Forbes, and my heart goes out to her family. He was bailed only 15 days prior for domestic violence abuses against her.
The person alleged to have carried it out,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's so upsetting, the whole thing. Now, let's look at in terms of where the politics is at this year. It's all about the economy before the next election. We saw our friend Warren Hogan from Judo Bank. He's saying he thinks there'll be 3 rate rises now.
I know.
This year. If that happens, politically, that would be an earthquake.
He's completely reversed what his previous prediction was. He had previously predicted that rates would start coming down this year, but on the basis of the last figures, he's turned it round, and rates could go up. And I know Australians who are already paying 35% more in fuel and insurance, 25% more on groceries. Let's not even talk about our electricity bills, which should have gone down $275. Australians are feeling it right in their hip pockets. It's a very troubling time, and we're not hearing a solution from this government.
Kieran Gilbert, appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.